Hi, it's Dr. Lori. I'm in Fairfield, Connecticut at the Goodwill. Come shopping with me. So you're all probably going, Dr. Lori, it's Murano. Dr. Lori, it's Murano. It's Murano. Let's look at the Murano, right? Let's pick it up. Let's look at the striations. Let's look at this flower form with all the petals coming out. And then let's turn it over. And you should all know that it's not Murano. And here's why. Look at how thin this base is. Very thin base. I want you to also look at how it comes out. This was actually in a mold, and this was molded and done. But people think because it is decorative like this that it's 1960s Murano. This piece was made in China. This piece is probably not worth $12. It's probably worth closer to $10. But is it decorative? Is it hurting anybody? No, but it's not Murano. Murano looks very different from that. One of the telltale signs, and there are many, but the one that's easiest, I think, for you, is you have to have a thick base. Murano piece like this would have a nice thick base. Oftentimes that base is actually even a curved base, but this is a Chinese knockoff worth about 10 bucks. So sugar bowl, this is a new sugar bowl. So this is within the last 30 years, let's put it that way. But it's a colonial American style. So while it is a reproduction of ironstone, it was popular in the 1970s, and it's going to be popular again in 2026 when we have a colonial revival. Okay, so buy it now at $3 and resell it then, because that's when that style is going to come back. Everything's going to look like, you know, colonial American and Boston and Paul Revere and that whole thing. So that's what we're looking at. This is in very good condition. $3 now. It's really worth $5, and a little bit later, when that revival happens, it's going to be worth more. This is a nice piece too, but I don't think it has the lid. This is a St. Regis piece made in Japan from the 1950s, and it's a coffee pot, but there's no lid. So that's too bad. It's a good-looking coffee pot. This is hand-painted. It's a Japanese style. It has the silver on the spout, the silver where the lid would go, the silver on the handle where my hand is, and it's hand-painted. A nice, delicate painting style that you see in bone china. It's called St. Regis. You could see that it's fine china made in Japan. I don't see a lid. Usually when there is a lid, I'm looking for the lid now. Usually when there is a lid, it's taped on. You know, they're careful to try to keep the lids together. So I don't even see a price tag on it. If it's a couple bucks, I'd probably say yes, $2, $3. If you like it for yourself, I think it goes really with a lot. It's very pretty. It's a nice form. It's a nice design form. Let's see. This I think is great. Hand-painted 1950s Dutch serving tray. Look how thick it is. See how thick that is? So this is not mass-produced. This is hand-done. So this is a studio art piece. They want $2 for it. It's unmarked, and I would say definitely in a good online platform for home goods, home design pieces, this Dutch platter, you definitely could command 50. That's really a nice piece. And I'm leaving it here for you. So here's this one. Also colonial. You can see the nice colonial American look on these. Transferware in the English style. And this one is the guys down here, you see with the cows and the dog. On this side, you can see it's called Memory Lane Royal Ironstone. So ironstone is the type of ceramic that you have, and made in the United States. So there's 3 of these dishes. I think I don't know if you're going to find more, but it's easy to spot the red ones. This is red transfer, and usually red transfer has a natural decoration around the rim. In this case, it's leaves, oak leaves, and acorns. So these are nice. At $5 each, they're worth about $10 each. So you can make double your money on these. There's your $5 mark. And they're not chipped or cracked. So porcelain, nice red-white contrast. These are a nice piece, but they're new. You can see dishwasher, microwave safe. That's, oh, I'm after 1975, before 2000. That's usually that type of mark. But they're nice, they're heavy, they're sturdy, and there's a bunch of them. So if you move the holiday Christmas 1981 dishes, 1992 dishes, you see there's a bunch. So 5 of them here. They look nice on a display case. They only want $1 for them. They're worth $5 each. So those are good. How could you tell Italian? The color, it's kind of this corally gray, it's kind of this corally gray-white beige color that you see here. This is a holiday plate, obviously, with the snowflakes. This is stamped but hand-painted, so they use a stencil. But it's going to say hand-painted, made in Italy. Yeah. Also notice a lot of the southern Mediterranean pottery has this redware look. So it's all glazed on the underside, but then there's this line of basically the redware. So when they're making it, this is what actually has not been glazed. But this is a nice plate. I don't see $3. So $3 for this plate, you're going to easily be able to get 10 for the Italian plate. So this is a nice plate, and it's holiday time, so there's a lot more, of course, of the urge to shop at holiday time, and usually the prices are a little bit higher too. So that's a nice piece too, and I'm leaving that one here for you. There's a sauce boat from the 50s. This particular piece, 2 spouts is a sauce boat. 1 handle and spout is a gravy boat. And this is the late 1950s. These starburst kinds of flowers are the late 50s. Oftentimes, the silver also comes in the late 1950s, early 60s. On the bottom, probably says made in Japan underneath this $2 price tag. But for $2, this sauce boat looks like it's in very good condition. And I would say 15 retail, 15 for that one. But that's very mid-century modern. Curvature, lots of ovals, extended, that whole thing. This has got to be Noritake covered casserole. So this is not vegetable. Vegetable dishes are round, covered casseroles, oval, gilding, in okay shape. For $12, that's okay, but not great. So this has been used, and is it Noritake? There you go. So Noritake, made in Japan. The M in this wreath is known for Murano brothers. A lot of you go, how is it Noritake if there's an M? Well, it's based on the manufacturer known as Murano brothers for Noritake. And it's in good shape. There probably was a whole set, whoever donated this piece. Maybe the rest of the set is coming out. I have no idea. But that's basically $12, I would say easily worth $40. You can see there's another piece right there that matches, and on the next shelf over, there's the covered vegetable dish. It's round, also Noritake. So you have to look around. You have to look and say, oh, then look at the top of the handle where the gilding is. I bet that piece, those pieces were probably stored on top of each other. They inverted the lid and then they placed it into the china cabinet, and that might have been why you've got damage in the same place. Storage can do a lot of damage to a lot of pieces. But there you go, you've got the Noritake, 2 pieces of the big set. So if you can use those for serving dishes, that would be great. Speaking of serving dishes, oh, see now this might be the cup, the Noritake cup and saucer. Looks like it's the same pattern. Yeah, it is the same pattern. So I'm telling you, they're around here. So here's a saucer. There's a cup and a saucer. And so I'm seeing things in dribs and drabs. So maybe they're still bringing these out, you know. But this particular pattern, you can see it's the same pattern. So you have to look around. You have to be a little patient. Even me, who is not a patient person, I have to be patient and go, is that it? Is it over here? You know, look high and low, because you might find the whole set. And if you like it well enough, it's worth it. They want $2 for this saucer. I gotta say, unless you can find all the cups and all the saucers, $2 for a saucer is about what it's worth. This is another piece, another one, but this is different. This is actually English. You can see this is W.A. George, but a different type of sauce boat. So let me show you while I got you. Here's these are both from the mid-20th century. Japanese, very elongated. English, very upright. See how it comes up? It's taller. The Brits have it taller, and they have a less exaggerated oval. So less exaggerated oval than the Japanese in this time period. These are the types of things, if you can recognize this kind of stuff, you're going to know where the quality is. The quality here, in fact, is in the Japanese piece. This particular porcelain bone china is much nicer than, in fact, this china on the English piece. But if you like silver versus gold, you know, you might choose the English piece. But they're really both quite nice. I like the Japanese piece better because the Japanese piece says more of the style of its time. So it's much more typical with this starburst pattern of these flowers, the style of the late 1950s, early 60s, mid-century modern. So this still harkens back to the 1930s, 1940s. So here's a compare and contrast for you too with sauce boats. Shell pattern, shell formed. This would have had a little teacup here. It would have matched, and it was for ladies who were playing bridge, and maybe they had a little cucumber sandwich with the crust cut off. I have great nieces and nephews who like the crust cut off everything. I'm sure you have kids like that in your life too. So these would have a little teacup here. You'd have small little finger sandwiches, and you would be able to have a little bit of a bite of lunch or a bite of tea at that particular time. Who makes this? Unmarked, so American in this particular case. The shell pattern is nice. This probably dates from the 1960s. Usually there's 6 of these or 10 of these, or usually there's a lot of these with the cups. But just one, I have to say that I think this is a nice trinket dish. I think you could really reuse this dish for $2. You know, maybe you put earrings here, or maybe, you know, a couple of little hair accessories, maybe for a, or for a side table kind of thing. I like that. Some people will actually put a little pillar candle here. Little tiny, you know, tea light candle. That's a good use of this, so at least we're not putting everything into a landfill, you know? So use that for something else that's just decorative. Wait a minute, don't go anywhere. Quiche. A lot of quiche being made again. It was very popular in the 1980s, and it's making a big revival. So quiche plate. This one's nice because it can also be a decorative piece, but very, very heavy stoneware, a nice ceramic that a lot of people can actually utilize. Some will just say, oh, I like the roses, I'm just going to decorate with it, but it really is utilized for pie or for quiche. The French really brought that back pretty strong in the 1980s, and we're seeing a revival of it too. How much? 5. Yeah, with that mark, I would definitely buy this for 5 and easily resell that for 35. We should always have a mug for the teachers. In its day, this, see, this is trying to mimic Mackenzie Child. You might know Mackenzie Child. These are $8 for the pack of 4, so that's $2 each. In this condition, I would bypass these. They're made in China, mass-produced in large number, and they didn't really hold up very well. When I see things like this, I say, well, people might say, oh, but I like it, it's only a couple bucks. Well, those couple bucks could be used better somewhere else. I left the real bargains there for you. There's more to come.